This is how I made this strawberry shortcake headdress using things I only got from Dollar Tree. Hello dolls! Today we're going to be making this strawberry shortcake headdress. Easy. It takes about a day, depending on how long it takes the paint and the frosting to dry. Other than that, you can get it done in a day. It's no sew. I used hot glue to put the stuff on. It's very customizable of what you would like to do with it. So if you wanted to get one, I think you can buy it from this is their Instagram name. Pretty sure they sell them a few times, but I couldn't find it on Google or where to get it, like if there's a shop. I looked, but I think on Instagram you can. So this is where I found that. Yeah, I wanted to recreate it. So let's just get right into it. This is all you'll need, plus red and white paint, piping bags and piping tips, and a glue gun or any type of glue. I already had that stuff, so I didn't get it, but you can get that stuff at Dollar Tree and Walmart if you need it. Also, you can use Ziploc bags instead of piping bags. You'll be able to find the clay, the tools, the fabric, and the ribbon in the crafting section at Dollar Tree, and you'll be able to find the caulking in the automotive, and the duster and sponge you'll find in the home goods / cleaning supplies. First thing we're gonna do is put our piping tip in the bag, cut a little hole, put it through, then squeeze it right into the bag. This was my first test of this tip. How you're going to pipe, you are going to set your piping bag at an angle and then squeeze a little bit up, then pull it down. So pull up just a little bit, squeeze as you're pulling it up, and then as you're pulling it down and out, you're going to stop squeezing. This is the best way to make these little frosting decor. You're going to just do them individually and make sure you make the tail very flat so they can lay on top of each other. I didn't end up using the shell shape, but this is the one that I found at that time, so that's why I started practicing with. Then I ended up using the star tip to use the frosting decorations that I used. But yeah, I would not use these lines, like I made little lines of piping. I wouldn't do that because it's going to crack when it bends over your head anyway, so I suggest just making the little charms and laying them on top of each other. That's going to be your best bet, and it's going to move and it's going to look a lot better. Then you're going to take your duster and you're going to pull it in half, and I ended up pulling it all the way in half. Then you're going to take your sponges and cut it into about 1 centimeter size strips. Then you're going to cut those strips in half long ways. Then you're going to end up tearing those apart into little squares. Make sure you tear it and not cut it because it's going to look more like organic or like cake. I let the frosting dry overnight, but it still wasn't dry all the way underneath because it was so thick, so I ended up peeling it off on both sides. Make sure you use parchment paper for this. It's going to be easiest to peel your frosting off, and it also will dry a lot quicker. The plate did not dry. Either way, when it feels dry on top, you're going to peel off on both sides and flip it over and let the underneath dry. Okay, time for the clay. You're going to cut it into sections. I ended up cutting these little sections into sections because you want your strawberries to be pretty thin so they'll bake a lot quicker, but also won't be heavy on your headdress. So I ended up shaping it into almost like a little teardrop shape. You can look at a strawberry slice to try to mimic this better, but this is what I went off my memory to look at. I just kind of shaped it into a little teardrop shape, but I didn't make the end too pointy. Then I put a little crevice or a little dent in the top where the top of the strawberry would be. Then I used my the little tool that has little bumps on the end to make it look like the inside, the middle of it when you cut the strawberry to give it texture. And so I ended up I just used all the little piece of clay that they gave me for these strawberries and just made a bunch of them, just in case some of them came out better than others, or yeah, if I like the shapes more than others. I kind of did not keep with the same shape. I made, you know, slightly fatter. Sometimes I put a little dent on the bottom and the top, so I tried to make them look more organic. I suggest making them all on a piece of parchment paper so you do not have to peel them up so you don't get fingerprints on them, and you can just stick the parchment paper on a pan and put it right into the oven. That's what I did. You're going to put the oven on 200 degrees and do it at 5 minutes at a time. So I baked it for 5 minutes and I checked on them, and if they still felt a little soft in places, I put them in for another 10 minutes. I think I ended up doing like 13 minutes. Now we're going to go on to the sponges. All you have to do is paint these white. It's a little messy, as you can see, because, you know, if you have to hold the sponge, you're going to have white paint all over you, but it turned out pretty good. Now we're going to try to paint the strawberries once they've cooled, and I just went in with red all around, and then I went in with some white, and it kind of created a pink ombre because it mixed with the red. Then the closer I got to the center, I made it more white, so I almost did an ombre effect. And I just repeated that with all of them. And then I put a little white stripes like coming into the center and like faded those out. And oh, I forgot about this. If you have clear fingernail polish, this is an option, but I wanted them to look shiny. So if you have some clear fingernail polish, you can also get that at Dollar Tree. You could put it on top. I was also doing my split exercises as I was painting, so this is what multitasking looks like. I did a few coats because I wanted it kind of to bubble up over to look more like 3D kind of. Anyways, this is me setting it up to see what I would want it to look like. What you're going to do is you're going to pleat it, and then you're going to hot glue under each of those pleats. Then you're going to just glue down like a zigzag on the back of the duster, and then you're just going to glue down all your stuff. Like I said, I would not use strips for the frosting. I would do like how I showed individual frosting charms and glue them down one at a time. Then you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to place it in between the duster and the fabric and then glue it together. And now you're done. A few things I would note. The frosting pieces, I made individual ones and I made strips. If you're going to use a long strip, I would recommend putting the parchment paper or a wrap over a bowl and creating it in a curve, piping it in a curve. But I think your best bet is to do pipe singular shells, singular deals. Like I made a lot of them, but I ended up using the long strips. I would use the singulars and put them like right on top of each other, like I showed where you pipe up, then pull down, and then so they'll keep laying on each other. I recommend that so it will bend over your head a lot easier. And with the sponge, make sure you tear those into pieces. Other than that, also, I recommend with this type of fabric is very slick on the bottom. I would recommend doing like a zigzag of hot glue on the bottom of it so it won't slip and slide on your head like this. If you like this video, make sure to comment down below and tell me what other crafts you would like me to do. And yeah, bye bye.